please find your seats.
Yeah, I got that. Chopped it down from 126 bucks. He said, look, I'm buying you a total. I'm buying a total here.
So anyway, at some point we have to get together.
Sure.
Now, they dropped those balloons off the Thursday night. I didn't get to see them. Pictures of what they raised. There's another sunset on Fort Hill.
How big is the balcony?
Holds 200 chairs and a table. Right here, travel with us. Her name is Sarah. She's good. That's on the train.
Okay, everybody move forward, I think.
What I want. The small.
Get shiny.
Like Mississippi.
For those of you I haven't met, my name is Marcia Supa, and I'm the office administrator at Palafox Financial Services. And I just wanted to welcome you all for coming today and joining us in the celebration of independence. Yeah, applause. I like that. I asked Jose if this was his 4th or his 5th Independence Day barbecue, and he said 4, 5. So I said 4 because of our Independence Day. So I want to thank you all for attending. And with that, I'd like to now present the colors by AAE, AFJ, ROTC Color Guard.
Okay. Color. Color. Art. Hey. Color. Color. Ready. Go. Breathe in. Out. Water. Out.
And right now, I would like to have Everett Frampton come up, please, who will lead us in an invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this allowance to be here today to celebrate this 2016 Independence Day. We also ask you to bless Jose, bless this event, bless the people, and everybody.
And please stand for the national anthem.
No, we're going to do the pledge.
Oh, doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Colonel. Colonel's going to lead us.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody's join. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to take a quick moment to introduce and to, first of all, to thank a couple of our sponsors today. Starbucks has been doing this in the past by ourselves, okay, Jose. But this year we had a couple of sponsors that joined us. We want to thank them. So from Liberty Utilities, if you could stand, please, and we can thank you for that, for your contribution today. Kathy Martin from the town of Apple Valley. Thank you so much for the time. And I'd like to introduce the team from Starbucks Financial. We have Chris Lindsay, who you will not see for a while because he's actually cooking burgers and hot dogs. So if you smell something, it's Chris, okay? But he's the advisor in our Apple Valley office. And then the other advisor that we have up in the San Jose office is Everett Frampton, who you met. So stand up, Everett. And myself, if you haven't met me, my name is Marcia Supa, and I'm the office administrator, as I said earlier, and I work in the Apple Valley office. I have to say, it is such a pleasure and a privilege, actually, to work with Jose Palafox for very many reasons, and I'll only give a few so you can hear what he has to say today. But I respect this man so much, and I love his values, I love his vision, his dedication, not only to God and his family, and also to what he does for a living, which is finance, but also to the fact that he has such a passion for this country and all that it means. And with that, I'd like to introduce him, my boss and your friend and colleague, Jose Palafox.
Thank you for that introduction. And it goes both ways. Both ways. Marcia is not only our administrator, she's one of my best friends. So. Okay, so every year I read the Declaration of Independence and I try to get through it as quickly as possible. Remember, English is my second language, so and it was written in the Revolutionary American at the time where it didn't say like or OMG. It was a lot different back then. So a little bit about myself for those that don't know. I mean, everybody kind of knows me here, but I actually was not born here. So I was born in Mexicali, Mexico. I came here when I was 5 years old. And, the reason I came here, I asked my mom and dad this recently, so why don't we go to the U.S.? You had a job, you were a truck driver, you were doing good down there, so because you wanted a future for you. I'm like, that's good enough for me. Anyways, it's because of them, my parents that I'm here. And, I grew up in Torrance, California. Not an easy life. I grew up in the barrio. For those that don't know, that means neighborhood. And the neighborhood that I grew up in was one of the single worst neighborhoods in all of Torrance. So, it was fun. I got out alive because I think God was on my side. So, when I turned 18, after being on my own since I was 16, because my parents moved back to Mexico, and they said, hey, Jose, we're moving back to Mexico, we're building a house. Your dad losing his job here, so you want to come with us or not? And I said, Mexico, U.S. Mexico, U.S. I'm staying. So I did. And when I turned 18, I joined the U.S. Air Force because it sounded good to me. I was kind of living in my car, in and out of my car, and I was like, free food, free clothes, education. Air Force sounds good. So I'm there. I did 8 years as a U.S. weatherman. And believe it or not, when I joined the Air Force, I actually wanted to be a cook. That's my passion. I took home economics for 2 years, and I fell in love with cooking. Greenwood Junior High. Thank you very much. But he said, you're too smart to be a cook. I'm like, I want to be a cook. He said, no, you're going to be a weatherman. Okay, I'm a weatherman. So I spent 8 years in the Air Force, and I was a weather specialist and enjoyed the time. But after 8 years, I got kind of tired of it. We have some Air Force people here today that didn't walk out. But I wanted to do my own thing. I had that rebellious spirit a little bit. So I was done with the Air Force. I came to the high desert and started a business, and I've been here since. I've done quite a few different businesses, everything from selling yellow pages to fire extinguishers to, well, you name it, I kind of sold it. And of course, today, I sell investments. And that's Palafox Financial, which is my company that I started in 2006. And it's allowed me to have a good life here in the high desert. And many of you that I met are clients here today and friends, and I appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to manage your money. So why am I here? That's not about me. Today, I hope it's going to be a little different for those of you who come to the previous years. I want to do this a little bit I'm going to get emotional. For my children. So That's not me. We are live streaming on YouTube. That's new for me. There's Dan back there. You guys wave at Dan. He's actually live streaming this. And the reason for that is my wife and my kids are in Texas. So they're able to see it, watch it. Hi, Ethan. Hi, Alex. Hi, Tracy. All right, they're not going to watch me. So, great news is we have my son Joseph and Adam, and then my other son's watching it in San Diego. So, Joseph here is going to be joining the Air Force on August 15th. So I think we should give a big hand for that. Adam is trying to go to this college and then join the Air Force. He wants to be a drone pilot. I wonder what he wants to do. Maybe push the button on some people out there. Anyways, probably not politically correct, but if you know me, I'm not politically correct. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for them today. I want them to learn and hear what it means to be an American. Okay, so enough about me. Let's talk about the Declaration of Independence and the time frame of when it happened. And what I wanted to do first, I wanted to kind of, there's so much publicity out there about how we're not a Christian nation. That was never the intention. So Benjamin Franklin, which is thought of many times one of the least Christian men of the group, would you all agree? You've heard that? Okay. During the Continental Congress time frame, this was after the Declaration of Independence, they were in Philadelphia. They couldn't get anything done. Sound familiar? So the government at the time couldn't get anything done. They were going back and forth for weeks. And it was in June, and it was hot, and it was just terrible. Everyone was miserable. So what happened was Benjamin Franklin got up and gave a speech. And I'm going to repeat that speech for you today. And you tell me if he thinks or feels like God was important. But here it is. It says, again, the English is different back then, so please bear with me. As follows. Mr. President, the small progress we have made after 4 or 5 weeks close attendance and contentful reasons with each other, our different sentiments on almost every question, several of the last producing many no's as yeas, is methinks melancholy proof of the imperfection of the human understanding. We indeed seem to feel our own want of political wisdom, since we have been running about in search of it. We have gone back to ancient history for models of government, and examined the different forms of those republics which have been formed with the seeds of their own dissolution, now no longer exist. And we have viewed modern states all around Europe, but find none of their constitutions suitable to our circumstances. In this situation of this assembly, groping as it were in the dark to find political truth, and scarcely able to distinguish it when presented to us, how has it happened, sir, that we have not hereto once thought of humbly applying to the Father of lights to illuminate our understanding? In the beginning of the contest with Great Britain, when we were sensible of danger, we had daily prayer in this room for divine protection. Our prayers, sir, were heard, and they were graciously answered.